Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to take a quick look at an interesting game played at 2020 Magnus Carlsen Invitational. In this game the reigning world chess champion is on the white side and his opponent is Chinese chess grandmaster Ding Liren. Carlsen opened up with e4 and to Ding Liren's e5 response he went for the razor-sharp king's gambit. From time to time Carlsen is relying on this opening and is using it as a surprise weapon. By gambiting the f-pawn, white wants to lure away the opponent's central pawn, and then later white himself can occupy the center by going for d2 d4 advance. Also, by relying on the semi-open f-file, white can organize his attack. He takes f4, we have the king's gambit accepted, knight f3 and knight f6. Black is choosing the Schallopp defense, and with his last move Ding Liren is attacking white's central e-pawn. In return we have e5 and knight h5. It may seem that the knight on h5 is somewhat misplaced, as said, the knight on the rim is dim, but from h5 the knight is protecting the pawn on f4, and you can't harass it with a move like knight d4, because once your knight is leaving the f3 square and is no longer controlling the h4 square, black can announce a check from h4. To knight h5 we have queen e2. With this move white is preventing a move like d6, but the downside of this move is that this is blocking the bishop's diagonal, making it hard to develop. Bishop e7, d4, black castled kingside, and knight c3. As you remember, I have already shared with you an exhibition game played between David Bronstein and Tigran Petrosyan that was played in 1963 in Tbilisi, where in here Bronstein went for a very aggressive g4 move, and after f takes g3 he recaptured with the h-pawn, allowing knight takes g3 fork, and white managed to organize a very dangerous attack. Despite the fact that with an accurate play black can win the game, in practice it turns out that finding the right moves is not so easy, and with only a great difficulty Petrosyan managed to draw that game. The link will be in the comment section, but meanwhile let's proceed with our game. So after black's castling kingside we have knight c3 and d6. Of course a move like bishop h4 is not dangerous, you can always capture on h4 and then cover your king. That's why after knight c3 we have d6, bishop d2, bishop g4, Carlsen castled queenside, knight d7, queen e1. White is both opening up the light squared bishop's diagonal and also wants to go for g3, c6, bishop e2, rook e8, g3, d takes e5, knight takes e5. Not the strongest move, d takes e5 is stronger. After this move, black pieces are somewhat awkwardly placed. But in our game we have knight takes e5, which is allowing black to go for an exchange on e5 and then f3. Thus black is managing to free his position and make his pieces active. Bishop d3, queen d4. This bishop d3 is actually a very cunning move. White is inviting black to win an exchange, but as white has a nice bishop pair, white can organize a very dangerous kingside attack. That's why understanding that stepping into that trap can be somewhat dangerous, Ding Liren played queen d4 and Carlsen forced an exchange of queens by playing queen e4. Queen takes e4, knight takes e4, f2, rook f1, bishop f3. White failed to win that pawn, which was the pawn on e7, right? In the beginning of the game this pawn was tending on e7, and now this passed pawn is becoming a huge problem for white. g4 by Carlsen, he is looking for complication, although at this point, according to Stockfish, capturing on f2 and getting rid of that pawn as soon as possible is better, although white is doing it at the cost of giving up the rook. But anyways, there is no way to protect that rook. Knight takes f2 was better. Instead we have g4 and bishop h4, a very powerful move by Ding Liren. He's going for a piece sacrifice. Capturing on g4 is of course not good. White is easily managing to equalize, and even bishop takes h1 is not good. White is doing just great, you know. If here, then here. That's why in our game after g4 we have bishop h4. Carlsen accepted the piece sacrifice and rook takes e5. Right now we have a hanging piece. Carlsen played knight g3 and rook e8. Now black wants to play bishop takes h1. If knight takes h1, then rook e1 check. Here we have bishop c3 and bishop g5 check. First cornering king and only then winning the rook on h1. And after bishop takes h1, Carlsen resigned. Although he could still make some more moves, you know. After bishop takes e5, rook takes e5, white can play rook e2. And now if bishop f3, then rook takes f2. White is lost, of course, but white could torture his opponent further and force him to find the best winning moves. In here, black has bishop g4 move, again relying on the vulnerability of the first rank. If c4, then bishop e3, and now if here, then bishop h3. Not sure that the world champion saw all this, but he understood that his position is hopeless, and after bishop takes h1, he resigned. Nice game by Ding Liren. Very confidently he punished his opponent for going for that good old king's gambit. In the end, a chess puzzle for you, where the task is to find the winning line for white. It's white to move, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. Feel free to check them out as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.